It's a 5-0 start to the season for Oklahoma softball. Sooners take down Loyola Marymount 9-0 on Friday night. So some big takeaways here, and we'll get to some individual players as well. But here's kind of my main takeaway, is that Patty Gasso made it very clear what she wanted to see Friday night. She wanted to see a better start. She wanted to see a faster start. I think overall the offense has been pretty good for the most part through the first 4 games. But in Game 5, let's get a faster start, because I think the stat is they hadn't scored in the first inning in any of the previous 4 games. So let's come out hot. And that's exactly what OU did. Batted around in the first inning, 5 runs in the top of the first, including that Cassidy Pickering 3-run home run. So I think that that's a big takeaway. Loyola Marymount, not the best opponent that you're going to face this weekend. And no, nationally, OU's not going to get a whole lot of credit for beating a team like Loyola Marymount. But there are still things inside the game. There are still certain goals that you can set for yourself, even in games like that. And the goal that was set is, guys, let's get off to a faster start. Let's not wait until the 4th inning to start piling on runs. Let's jump out on a team early. And they accomplished that. So I think when you look at this game, I look at it from an overwhelmingly positive angle, because the goal that was set for an opponent like that, you accomplished that. You scored 5 runs in the top of the first inning. In a lot of ways, what last night's game felt like in terms of the start is, kind of what those great teams of the past always did. Think about it from Loyola Marymount's perspective. Big game. We got a top 3 team in the country at our place. The place is sold out. I think they sold out of tickets in 10 minutes. We've got a chance here to do something really special, something really cool. The 4-time champs are here. And then by the time you go to the home half of the first inning to hit for the first time, the game is over. OU delivered the knockout blow in the top of the first inning. There was still an entire game to play, but I knew it, you knew it, Loyola Marymount knew it. That game was already over by the time we got to the bottom of the first inning. And I think that's a great thing. That's what those great teams of the past did so many times, is home, on the road, whatever. By the time you go to the second inning, everyone knows that the game is over because you already delivered the knockout blow. So that's kind of my main takeaway, is that the GOAT wanted a better start, and OU gave her a much better start. I'll definitely take that. Now, she did have some other comments, and if you want to be, I guess, any sort of critical about the game on Friday night, well, that's great you scored 5 in the first, but let's keep that intensity going on throughout the game. And I'll get to some comments here in a few minutes about what Patty said about that. But just kind of overall, again, the top of the first inning, not like that knockout blow. 5, home runs all over the place. 4 different players hit home runs on Friday night. Of course, you had Cassidy Pickering hitting the 3-run bomb in the first inning. Ella Parker with the hometown home run, which was really cool to see in the second inning. Sid Sanders hit a home run in the 3rd inning. Big for her. I've seen some critical comments in the comment section about Sid Sanders, but that was a very nice response for her. 3 for 4. She scored 2 runs. She had the RBI along with that home run. Good to see Sid really get going offensively. Didn't have her best start on Thursday, but she's looking more comfortable right now and looking like she's getting going at the plate right now. Tia Malloy with a shot, and I mean an absolute shot to right field that I think landed on the roof of the LMU batting facility out there. She's got back-to-back games now with a home run. She's looked great, and she had a lot of expectations, a lot of hype going into her freshman year. I had her as a projected starter in right field before the season started, and I think this freshman class as a whole has certainly looked great so far throughout the first weekend. Tia Malloy just looks extremely comfortable at the plate. I really like what you're seeing from Tia Malloy early on. Loyola made 2 errors in the game, and kind of talked about this earlier in the week, is OU's so aggressive on the base paths, will that cause even more errors? You already have the pressure of, I've got to be perfect. I've got to be perfect when I play Oklahoma. And now that they're so aggressive and so athletic, might that create even more mistakes for opposing defenses? Well, Loyola didn't have 5 or 6 errors last night. Loyola had 2 errors. And what I like about that is that, they weren't errors and then OU didn't make them pay. OU made them pay for both errors that they made. runs scored on both of those errors, one way or the other. So I like that opposing teams are making errors against Oklahoma, and Oklahoma's making them pay, and they are paying those errors off with some runs. But I thought overall a very good night. Again, let's remember what we're talking about here. What are we looking for? We're looking for growth. You don't have to be good enough to win the national championship today. They are not good enough. Newsflash, they're not good enough to win the national championship today. And that's okay. It's about the process that Patty Gasso always talks about. So Thursday, they faced some adversity and overcame it. Didn't play their best softball. Faced some adversity Thursday and overcame it. Friday, a doubleheader sweep, a much better day all around. And we talked about that on Saturday morning. It's from Thursday to Friday, and just one day, you saw some real growth for this team. I think that that's a big plus. And then I think from Friday to Saturday, you set kind of some, certain goals on what you wanted to see, and you accomplished that in the first inning, scoring the 5 runs. So I think that we're continuing to see throughout the early part of the season, growth from game to game. Now let's see if they can do it on Sunday against a Long Beach State team that I think is pretty good and a very interesting turnaround for this team. One thing needs to be noted, and honestly, this should have been more at the top of this episode, with me talking about the first inning. The defense has been good, guys. I think the defense was very good last night. It hasn't been perfect throughout the week, but in terms of the highlight plays that they've made, I've been very impressed. Nelly has looked very, very good defensively over at third base. It hasn't been perfect. They don't have a perfect fielding percentage so far, but Sid Sanders made a really good play last night to double off a runner. Again, Nelly made a great play reaching over the dugout. I think the defense was really good last night, and I think the defense has been very good throughout so far this weekend. Sam Landry, a lot sharper on Saturday night than she was on Thursday, so that goes back to the growth from day to day to day. She got the start. I like that she got the start and was allowed and was able to go the distance. 4-hit shutout for Sam Landry. No earned runs, 1 walk, just the 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts for Sam Landry. She's going to have a ton of strikeouts this year. Every single time she's in there, it seems like she comes away with a ton of strikeouts. I think she's going to be your team leader in strikeouts this year. Interested to see where she kind of finishes in the SEC this year. But her first win of the season, and I thought she looked good. I thought that she looked good. She, like everyone else, can stand to get better and better and better as the season goes on. But I will always take a complete game 4-hitter. Anytime Sam Landry wants to do that, a complete game 4-hitter where she doesn't allow any runs, I am all about that. So sharper since Thursday, and I like to see her go the distance as well. And here's something else. As we talk about the growth and just kind of overall through the first 5 games, I think it's been pretty good. I don't think I'd give it an A+, but I give it a very solid grade. Here is a good conversation to have is, okay, we've seen a handful of games now. We got a long way to go. Do we have a better idea about some of these position battles? Do we have a better idea now than maybe what we had going into the year? And I don't really know if the answer to that is yes. Do I like Garcia or Barker better at shortstop? I don't know, because they both have performed very well up to this point. Do I like Malloy? Do I like Bland? Do I like Hannah Core? The point is these position battles where you thought that there were some really good options has turned out to be true. There's some really good, multiple good options, young transfer portal players, returners, like whatever it is. Every player involved in those transfer portal or in those position battles have looked very good up to this point. So I think that that's an overwhelmingly positive thing to look at as well. You might have your favorites at those position battles, but really the point is they've got multiple options that can play some high-level softball at those spots, and I think that that's good. And some of those players have played multiple positions. What Sydney Barker was playing or started at first base last night on Saturday night, which was pretty interesting. But overall so far, and we'll see what happens Long Beach State on Sunday. A reminder, I'm actually going to have a live show as soon as the game is over. So if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel. But a live show as soon as the Long Beach State game is over. And I hope that you'll join me. Come in, like the video. I want your comments, your thoughts from the weekend. We'll recap that game and kind of look at the weekend, and then as we go into next week, I'll do a lot more diving into exactly what has happened so far in the state of California. But 9 Sooners with home runs through 5 games. I think that you like to see that. And again, my big takeaway is the fast start. But with the fast start, it can't always be perfect. It never is, probably in the eyes of Patty Gasso, and that's okay. But also some things that she wants to see this team improve on. And I'm going to read some quotes here from Patty. She said last night after the game, quote, "I will say that I'm pleased about today just because of the way that we came out. We had not scored in the first inning in the last 4 games we had played. Coming out and doing that was really important to us. What I didn't like was that in the next 3 innings, I'm not going to say that we gave up, but we didn't swing the bat like we were capable of. We talked about the importance of staying hungry. This has been a long trip, and we've been on our feet a lot. And I think you could start to see that tonight. So we have to learn how to play when our body doesn't want to, because that's what you're going to feel in the postseason. I'm really happy with the way some of these guys are swinging the bat," end quote. So there you go. Patty very happy with the start. She asked for it. She got it. But let's continue that. Let's not have a big first inning and then relax for the rest of the game. Again, the game was over after the top of the first inning. I knew it. You knew it. LMU knew it. OU knew it. But that's the next step is, okay, you delivered that knockout blow in the top of the first inning. Keep going. Go get that 5-inning run roll. Don't waste opportunities. Don't waste at-bats. Continue to pile on and bring that same energy. And, that whole thing isn't about the LMU game. It's about the game-to-game, inning-to-inning, pitch-to-pitch process. And when Patty talks about the process all the time, that is what she's talking about. Great first inning. But where was that in the second inning? Where was that in the third inning? Where was that in the fourth inning as well? They won the game 9-0, but she is striving for perfection. She's striving for a championship product, and that's the mindset, that's the mentality that you got to have. It's awesome we had a great first inning, but we've got to keep that same momentum. We've got to keep that same energy, that same focus, every single at-bat, every single pitch. And that's what this team is learning right now. And I think this weekend has been a very good learning experience, like Patty is saying, playing a lot of softball games. Getting towards the end of the week, you're a little bit tired. You got to push yourself, stay active mentally, and be able to put your best foot forward in any situation. And that's why I've always thought this Sunday game against Long Beach State is so interesting, because this team is tired. They have been on their feet. They have played a lot of innings. This is a very good test. Can you finish? Can you finish strong? You've shown growth every single day. Can you continue to show growth after an early start time on the West Coast and you played a lot of innings and maybe you're a little bit tired? So I think today is a very fascinating storyline in that respect, and I'm interested to see how they respond. Love to see all the fans in the outfield. Love to see all the fans in L.A. last night. I guess LMU sold out the tickets in 10 minutes. It's great. Great for those schools out on the West Coast. Great for softball. Great to see so many people just want to see a glimpse of the 4-time champs. I love that. Nobody's helped grow the game more than Oklahoma softball, and you're seeing it throughout the state of California this weekend, which has been really cool. Again, live show as soon as the game is over on Sunday afternoon, and I'm just looking for more positives. I'm looking for more players with more multiple hit games. Ella Parker's going to do her thing. You know that Cassidy Pickering is going to do her thing. I guess now that Tia Malloy is going to do her thing as well. But finishing this weekend strong. You've done a lot of good things. Let's end it on a very positive note and move to 6-0 on the season. Those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Drop those in the comments as OU begins the season 5-0. And as always, appreciate you watching.